Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we are going to get our hands a little greasy, but for a really good reason. We're doing a full trailer hub and bearing service. And look, this isn't just some boring repair job. Think of it as essential prep work for your next big adventure. So, you ready to dive in?
This quote really hits the nail on the head. Proper maintenance, it isn't just about fixing what's already broken. It's all about preventing that breakdown from ever happening in the first place. It's about making sure you actually get to where you're going, totally worry-free. So, you might be wondering, why are we even doing this? It's simple, really. This is, without a doubt, the best and cheapest insurance you can get against a catastrophic breakdown on the side of the road. A little bit of time spent in the driveway right now is going to save you so much time, money, and a whole lot of stress later on. And you know what the best part is? You don't need a professional workshop to do this. This entire job can be done with a set of really common, pretty budget-friendly hand tools. Ones that a lot of you probably already have sitting in your garage right now. All right, it's time to get hands-on. We're going to start with the prep and teardown. And I really can't stress this enough. Getting a safe and stable setup is the absolute most important first step of this whole process. Okay, you're going to want to follow these steps exactly. First, chalk the wheels on the side you aren't working on. That'll keep it from rolling. Always do this on a level surface. Get those jack stands placed securely under the axle, and please, never trust a jack by itself. And hey, if you can, leaving the trailer hitched to your truck adds a fantastic extra layer of stability. So with the trailer all secure, let's get that hub off. First, pry off the dust cap. Then you'll see the cotter pin. Now, listen up, because this is a huge safety rule. You must use a new cotter pin when you put this back together. The old one is made of soft metal, and it's designed to deform just once. If you reuse it, it gets weak, and it's super prone to just shearing off. And if that happens, your axle nut and your entire wheel could come flying off on the highway. So once that's out, the nut comes off, and the whole hub should slide right off the axle. Now that inner bearing and the seal behind it, well, they can be a little stubborn sometimes. But before you go reaching for more tools, let me show you a really cool trick that's going to make this part of the job way easier. So with that outer bearing already out, just thread the main axle nut back onto the spindle a little bit. Now, give the whole hub a sharp pull towards you. What happens is the nut will catch that inner bearing and use the hub's own weight to pop the seal right out from the back. It's simple, it's super effective, and you don't need any extra tools. Okay, now that we've got it all apart, it's time to pick the parts that are going to carry you on your next journey. Okay, with everything disassembled, let's talk about replacement parts. Seriously, the quality of the components you choose right now is what determines how long it'll be before you have to do this whole job all over again. Finding the right parts is actually pretty straightforward. Usually you can find part numbers stamped right on the old bearings. If they're all rusted and you can't read them, just grab a caliper and measure the seal diameters. And remember this, bearings and their races are a matched set. You never replace one without the other. Think about it. A worn, pitted old race has an uneven surface that's just going to chew up and destroy your brand new bearing in no time. Look, you might save a few bucks going with the budget parts you see on the right, but what you're really getting are those single-lip seals that just let destructive water and grit pour in. By investing in the high-quality parts on the left, especially name-brand bearings with those double lip-coated seals, you're getting way better protection. And that is the real key to longevity and a trip you don't have to worry about. Now hold on, before you start putting all those nice new parts in, there's one more prep step that is absolutely crucial, and it's one a lot of people skip. Grab some 800 grit sandpaper or even just a scouring pad and clean up the axle spindle and the inside of the hub. This gets rid of any tiny burrs or corrosion and just makes sure everything's going to have a perfect flush fit. All right, now for the really satisfying part, reassembly. We're going to take our clean surfaces and our high-quality new parts, and we're going to bring this hub back to life, but even better and stronger than it was before. So let's do this methodically. First, use a race driver or even just a large socket to gently tap the new races in until they're fully seated and flush. Then, pack those new bearings completely with grease. Don't be shy with it. After that, install the inner bearing and the new seal. Pro tip, if your seal is uncoated, a really thin layer of RTV silicone adds an extra watertight barrier. Finally, just slide the whole thing back onto the axle and install the outer bearing and the nut. We are so close to being done, but this final section, this is the most critical part of the whole job. Getting the torque and the final adjustment just right is absolutely essential for the safety and the lifespan of your new bearings.
All right, I want you to burn this number into your brain. 25 foot-pounds. This is the magic number. It's the specific initial torque setting you need to properly seat the bearings before you make that final adjustment. You have to follow this sequence exactly. While you're spinning the hub with one hand, use a torque wrench to tighten the nut to exactly 25 foot-pounds. This fully seats the bearings. Then, immediately back the nut off about an eighth of a turn, just enough to line up the hole for that new cotter pin. This creates this tiny bit of play that the bearings need so they can expand with heat and work correctly without overheating and failing on you.
So you want to take the protection to the next level? You might want to consider an upgrade like Bearing Buddies. They basically replace your standard dust cap, and they have this cool spring-loaded plate that constantly applies pressure to the grease inside. That pressure actively pushes out water and dirt. It's an especially great idea for boat trailers. Great bearings won't do you any good if your tires aren't right. Take a second to check the sidewall. That load rating is super important. Your tires have to be rated to carry the full weight of your fully loaded trailer. It's a really simple check, but it's vital for being safe out on the highway.
Okay, to wrap it all up, here is your adventure checklist. If you don't remember anything else, remember these 4 key things. Always replace bearings and races as a set. Spend the extra few bucks on high-quality double-lip seals. Get that torque setting perfect. And please, double-check your tire load ratings. You get these 4 things right, and you can roll forward with total confidence.
And that's it. You've just completed one of the most important maintenance jobs any trailer owner can do. You've basically swapped out anxiety for peace of mind. So the only question left is the fun one. With your trailer now ready for